Quackers presents Labor Day Barbecue Weekend and Domino Competition happening on Sunday, September 1st, 2024 from 3 p.m. at 13820 224th St. Laurenton, Queens, New York, 11413. We've got barbecue and of course a forehand domino competition. Cash and prizes increase as players register. The winner takes all. Game time is 4 p.m. Transportation departs at Church Avenue, 2 p.m. Cost $10. Come meet and greet some of your party favorites, including Alan Chesney, Sarah Prudent, Guy Joseph, Nancy Charles, Felix D. Turville, aka Champagne, and more. It's the New York Flubber Quackers Barbecue and Domino Competition happening Sunday, September 1st from 3 p.m. at 13820 224th St. Laurenton, Queens, New York. Be there.
Welcome to the Caribbean American News Media Show, your premier destination for in-depth coverage, engaging discussions, and entertaining segments showcasing the rich tapestry of Caribbean American culture. Join us as we explore a wide range of topics, from current events and community spotlights to arts, music, cuisine, and more. Our show features exclusive interviews with influencers, artists, community leaders, and everyday heroes who are making a difference in the Caribbean American community. Stay informed and inspired with our thought-provoking segments that highlight the diversity, resilience, and creativity within our community. Tune into the Caribbean American News Media Show for a captivating blend of news, entertainment, and storytelling that celebrates the Caribbean American experience. Get ready to discover new perspectives, celebrate successes, and connect with the heartbeat of the Caribbean American community. Don't miss a moment of the action. Stay tuned to Caribbean.
Discover the perfect platform to reach the vibrant Caribbean American community. Advertise with Caribbean American News Media. Our engaging platform connects you directly with a diverse audience interested in your products and services. Whether you're looking to promote your business, event, or services, our platform offers the ideal opportunity to showcase your brand to a receptive and engaged audience. Contact us now to learn more about our advertising options and start reaching your target market today. Hashtag Caribbean American, hashtag advertising success, hashtag connect with your audience.
The New York Flubber Quackers presents Labor Day Barbecue Weekend and Domino Competition happening on Sunday, September 1st, 2024 from 3 p.m. at 13820 224th St. Laurenton, Queens, New York, 11413. We've got barbecue and of course a forehand domino competition. Cash and prizes increase as players register. The winner takes all. Game time is 4 p.m. Transportation departs at Church Avenue, 2 p.m. Cost $10. Come meet and greet some of your party favorites, including Alan Chesney, Sarah Prudent, Guy Joseph, Nancy Charles, Felix D. Turville, aka Champagne, and more. It's the New York Flubber Quackers Barbecue and Domino Competition happening Sunday, September 1st from 3 p.m. at 13820 224th St. Laurenton, Queens, New York. Be there.
Every single decision we have taken has been to fertilize prosperity for today and to sow the seeds of progress for our nation 10 years from now. Every budget we delivered, every investment we attracted, every infrastructural project we approved, and those we re-engineered are meant for our children, our future, our St. Lucia. The United Workers' Party. Let's keep working.
Those of you who are peddling lies, I did not say it will finish in 2028. I said the loan will expire in 2028.
Flashback.
It's expected that the entire project, including the sports stadium, should be completed by 2028, including the sports stadium.
You lie! You lie!
We do not peddle lies and misinformation only for political reasons. This is not the way we operate.
Special good night to all our viewers here on Caribbean American News Media Platform. Folks, how was your day? How was your day? Hope all is well with you. I'm very much aware of the candlelight visual that is taking place over there in, I believe it is Swazel, where a young man was killed trying to bring assistance to a business that was in distress. And unfortunately, it is alleged that the owner, I believe, based on what we're hearing, is saying that she did not call for anybody to come and help her. A very insensitive statement, if that is the truth, And so again, I want to welcome you to Caribbean American News Media Platform. We are live on the air, and we are happy to be here with you as we continue to go after the truth. And I always say that the truth will indeed set us free. And so here's wishing you and your family a beautiful evening. I'm going to take a little time just to engage you. Those of you who are on the live, I will engage you just for a few minutes until the others come in. But please share the live. It's very important that you share this live tonight. What I am going to do, my intention tonight, is to go way back into maybe 7 years back into CIP, statements made by the St. Lucia Labour Party in opposition. And also we're going to look at some reports coming out of the United States under the leadership of Alan Chasney with the CIP program. We're going to go down into the boudin, the belly of this whole CIP program. So I just want to encourage you to share the live and to tag a friend as you come in. Tag a politician, tag Mr. Chasney, tag the entire UWP angelic host. Let them know that they need to be on the platform. Tonight we are working together to advance the business of the party, folks. If you are not sharing, if you look at your own live feed on the Facebook and you do not see Caribbean American News posted on your platform, then I believe something is entirely wrong with this whole program, and we might have to shut the show down or shift it into a different gear. But we need all to be involved. We need everyone, all hands on deck. If you believe that your nation is in problems, is in trouble, and that you need to rescue it out of the hands of this vindictive and secretive government, then I don't know what else, to say to you. But my encouragement to all is to share the live, tag a friend, get involved as we sacrifice. We make great sacrifice here on this platform to be here Monday and Tuesdays, friends. It is not easy. I have a lot of other stuff that I should be doing at this time. I have a major big program that I am planning for this weekend, and there are a lot of other programs I have planning for next week, and there's another big thing that I'm dealing with that is coming up soon. Just got word from it today. And so I am saying to you, friends, it is a sacrifice. There is no payments here. There is nothing that I get to be here on this platform. And so I'm just asking you to show your support by sharing the live and tagging a friend and let them know that we're on here. So tonight, it is going to be a night of videos going back into times. It is going to be something to behold. I did a lot of research earlier today, and I believe that it is something that you would want to pay attention to on the platform. It is something that you would want to pay attention to. So please share the live and tag a friend as we get on board. So this is not a spectator sport. All must be involved. Many of you will not be able to present like some of us on the platforms, but you can get involved in sharing, in stars, in all the different things, appreciation that you can do in order to keep us motivated to be here with you on a nightly basis. And as we get closer to an elections, we will have to add more nights and more sessions to this platform. And so we need to know that we're making sense here. And I'm not pulling another NBC thing on you with Shelton. That's not what I'm doing here. But I am telling you, we have been at this for a few years now, and it is it sometimes it can be difficult, it can be challenging in putting information together, doing research, ensuring that we're not besmirching anyone, that we're on the right track with our information. It is very hard, I am telling you. And so, especially with my platform, I don't want to put things out and have to pull it back or say I'm sorry. What we put out, we want to stick by it. And if there are times we have to pull it back, we will do that in the interest of nation building. But please, folks, I want you to join hands with me as we continue this fight, this great fight. We need more people, more spokespersons out there speaking on social media. Some of you can put on your live during the day. You can. There's stuff that you can do in order to get the message out. And so engage. This is no time for spectator sport. It is no time to stand by or to sit on the lives. It is time to engage. And the reason why I'm saying this to you tonight passionately is because of some of the research that I've done, some of the things that I'm seeing, some of the information that I'm receiving. And it says a lot, friends. And I will tell you one thing, that you are not wrong in choosing the United Workers' Party. Based on what I am seeing, based on what I am, information that is reaching my desk here, you're not wrong in standing with the United Workers' Party. You're not making a mistake. No, friends, you're on the right side of history, and history alone will justify your votes and your support to this great United Workers' Party. And yes, there are a lot of people in the party that are not nice to themselves or to others. There are a lot who are self-centered, who are rude, arrogant, and full of pride. You know, those individuals normally fall quickly. But you don't worry about that. You do your part to ensure that the United Workers' Party stands tall and strong. And they are committed to the values, the core values of Sir John Compton and many of the pioneers, Girodi and all those pioneers of this great party. Yes, and I am happy to announce tonight that this is not the party of Stevenson King. This is not the party of Richard Frederick. I am proud, ever proud, to know that those men are not in this party, that I'm not standing in the same party with them. And the more we find out that there are others whose core value are not what the party stands for, then we will stand aside. Yes, we are loyal to our supporters, we are loyal to our party, we are loyal to our people, but we will stand up when it's necessary, and we will say no. That's not what we want. Those are not our values. We are not going to threaten people. We are not going to threaten to kill anyone. We are not going to spit on anyone. We are not going to throw poop on anyone. We are not going to disrespect anyone's mother or their sickness or anything, or whether we had relationship with them and the relationship failed, whether we had sex with them in the past or not. We are not going to support anyone going out there and embarrass the party or bring shame to the party. We will not do it. We will call it out. We will sound the alarm loudly that that's not what we stand for. So until then, friends, you are on the right track. You are on the right train. This is the Flabo train. And hey, I tell you, the train is bound for success. It is bound for victory. Yes, my friends, don't doubt it. Stay on the train and get to work. That's how you can assure success. If all get involved, get on the train, stay involved, stop complaining that your party is not ready and this and that. You don't know that. Stop doubting your leaders. Stop doubting the machinery of this great party. It has always survived. It is united and strong. And when the united is put on the shelf by some, they get crushed by the united, because the united is ever strong. The united is ever faithful. The united will always be united. And when adversaries and difficulties come and the mountains of challenges come, this united and strong will rise to the occasion, and we shall conquer. We shall ride up to the highest mountain and go down to the lowest plain. But we shall overcome. And so you got to unite. And don't tell me you don't like this one and you don't like that one. Eku pasa wesa, eku ka jiwe, liona la. Double beti sa, kunyo tui. Maji. Se bagay sa mem, se bagay sa uni pou flush on a daily basis because it is garbage. Anyway, I said what I said, and I feel better now. So I'm going to drink water, mind my business, and greet you now. I'm in a better mood now. Now that I got that off my chest, my nose, my head, my bow tie, and everything else. I don't know where I get that from. And I ain't feel like Mr. Bowtie tonight, but whatever it is, folks, we always remember Mr. Bowtie. So I saw my friend Kadisha, where I get the bowtie. Yeah, but I got all the supplies of bowtie from Bowtie Man. Oh, Kadisha, what's up? Oh, why is me? Oh, man, Kadisha, drink water, mind your business, leave my tie alone. Anyway, greetings to all my lovely, lovely one-on-ones, one and all. Jean Francis on. Yes, she's proud and strong. Yes, man, I can't greet all of you now because we have a lot of video to go through, you know. We have a lot of videos to go through. And we're going to go way back, friends, way back in time. We're going to stay on the CIP tonight. All night is going to be CIP. Ian is there, my brother, and Mary, and everything else. Greetings to all. My supporter, my mother, my all in all is there, Joycelyn Fletcher, and she's agreeing with me. All right. Yes. Okay. So, folks, don't be distracted by those folks who are coming to sow their stuff. Let's just stay united and strong. Let me just play one more time this ad.
The New York Flavor Caucus presents Labor Day Barbecue Weekend and Domino Competition happening on Sunday, September 1st, 2024 from 3 p.m. at 13820 224th St. Laurenton, Queens, New York, 11413. We've got barbecue and, of course, a forehand domino competition. Cash and prizes increase as players register. The winner takes all. Game time is 4 p.m. Transportation departs at Church Avenue, 2 p.m. Cost $10. Come meet and greet some of your party favorites, including Alan Chesney, Sarah Prudent, Guy Joseph, Nancy Charles, Felix D. Tillville, aka Champagne, and more. It's the New York Flavor Caucus Barbecue and Domino Competition happening Sunday, September 1st from 3 p.m. at 13820 224th St. Laurenton, Queens, New York. Be there.
All right, folks, let's continue with our programming tonight. It is 8:15 p.m. and we're live on the air. GVD TV, we have a slight delay, but it will be on in the next few minutes. Those of you who are our GVD channel 116 or 115 viewers, it will be on shortly, but share the live as you come in to the platform. We have some international news quickly that we need to take care of, and that is the U.S., and this is from a report from CNN, and this is international news. U.S. sanctioned former Haitian president for drug trafficking. I believe this is the former president of Haiti, Martelly. He is being sanctioned by the U.S. authorities there over drug trafficking allegations, and their allegations, of course. We're also looking at on the world stage, World Health Organization have warned the world over about this new monkeypox development, and they're asking that folks pay attention to it. It is not a good thing. And I believe I read something privately that the possibility is that there might be a shutdown, there might be some type of attempt to control the spread of this monkeypox, and that's why we got to move with urgency in the small countries to get the healthcare finance, get the healthcare under control, so that when, if peradventure we have to face a monkeypox outbreak, that we have the facilities, we have the expertise, we have all that is necessary to take care, just like COVID. Even though we have the wrong government to manage the monkeypox, I would love that Shastner would have been in. If there is the possibility of that, he manages crisis very well. And I take off my hat to him and the United Workers' Party and Mary Isaac and all those people who came together to fight this beast. And yes, we lost some soldiers in it, but we conquered. And today, many are boasting now how good the economy is and how good the job numbers are. And by the way, we just got a report on the unemployment numbers there in St. Lucia. It is looking good. It is showing good sign. And if it is showing good sign, it's a good thing for the people of St. Lucia, not only the government, but for all the people. All right. Still a long way to go, but we continue to root for the best for the country, the island of St. Lucia. But there are a lot of bad news in the country, a lot of mismanagement, a lot of alleged corruption. There's a lot of secretive stuff happening in that country, and we're not going to be distracted by gains. We got to also continue to look at our healthcare system, the CIP, and all that. You know, that is not too not too nice, rather, in the nation. All right. I am asking a question to the government of St. Lucia, the health minister, and the folks over there at the OKEU hospital. Is it true? Is it true? And I'm just asking questions, folks. Is it true that you guys have lost 4 doctors who resigned over the conditions of that hospital? Please, I'm going to ask the Ministry of Health and the government and also the folks over there at the OKEU hospital there in St. Lucia to please give us some updates on this development, give us some information. Again, the question is to the Ministry of Health, the authorities there in St. Lucia. Is it true that there are 4 doctors who have resigned, who have walked away from the OKEU hospital because of the state of that hospital? And my question again, is that the reason why? Is it the reason why Dr. Merle and her team came out with a letter to warn you that there's going to be a major problem if attention is not given to the hospital? Not 4 million or 5 million. It's going to take more than that to address the issues at the hospital. You said the 4 million or the 15 million is for debt and everything else, and you made an attempt to blame the former administration for that. Remember that there were no OKEU hospital when it was open. It was open on the COVID-19. You remember you guys got the money to name the hospital, but did not open the hospital. So in your attempt to say that you have to pay debt that was there before you, I think you should stop talking and pay the debt. You're a government. Yes, you're a government. Pay the debt. But also the problem is not about the paying the debt. The problem is about supplying the hospital with all that is needed, taking care of the doctors, the workers there, from the janitor to the nurses and the doctors and the professionals. You got to pay attention. You got to put things in place to get it done. Because as far as I'm concerned, I blame you guys for the mess, because Mr. Shastner brought in a team of professionals to organize that hospital and to give us a good management. Give us good management of the hospital, but you came with your big mouth during that period, and everything was a problem. And you say, "You steal the money, give foreigner the money," when we have locals who can do it well. Who you have there? You have locals at the hospital, and the hospital is a mess. Doctors are walking away, ain't it? Huh? Doctors are writing letters to you to say that this is not good. The hospital is a mess. Huh? That rings a bell, remember? Yeah, you want to bring foreigners to manage our hospital and millions of dollars in the consultant. Yeah, you know why? Because we don't play with our hospitals. A hospital should not be played with or experimented by locals. No, we want those who are experienced in hospitals internationally to come in and help those who already have an idea what to do. We want to bring the professionals in so that we can have a well-oiled machine. So when a sick person goes to that hospital, that everything is in place for them and nobody is experimenting or trying to figure out what to do. But the machine is already in place. The administration is already in place. The management of that hospital would have already been in place. Shame on you guys. Everything you touch, you break. But anyway, it's too early for that kind of stuff there. Yeah, just bear with me, folks. That's water. That's all it is. All right. So that's the question there. Tell us whether doctors resign over at the hospital. Okay, so let's get to CIP. We promised that we're going to spend the entire night on the CIP story. And that's what we're going to do at this time. We're going to get into the CIP program. Folks, I don't know where to start with this CIP thing. I don't know where to start. I have a number of clips that I put together, and I honestly it was a challenge for me to start somewhere. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to something that I've already put into the system, all right? It started running. We're going to look, first of all, at the St. Lucia Labour Party at a press conference 7 years ago, I believe. 7 years ago, St. Lucia Labour Party acting up in protest at a press conference. I believe it is 7 years ago, but we will figure it out. Yes, I think it's 7 years ago. They were in protest because they wanted a debate on CIP. They wanted a debate in the House. They wanted to have a debate on the changes in the House. And so they are mad. They are mad. They want a debate in the House concerning the changes in CIP. I want you to listen keenly, folks. And let me see if I can split the screen so that while I am speaking, you can see me, I can see you, and we can deal. All right? So give me 1 minute. Let me just fix. Yes, I believe I am getting there. We're going to split the screen. Yes, we're going to split the screen so that you, the citizens of the country, can see me and I can see you, and that we can listen. We're going back in times, friends. We go back in times with this whole CIP story. And then we will see the hypocrisy, and we'll see all the problems and issues that the CIP program has been facing, the signs that were there a very long time ago that there was going to be a problem. Those signs were there. Those bandits saw the signs. They were warned about those signs of corruption or alleged corruption in the CIP program. The United States of America, in a report, and I will show you the report, where they had a problem with CIP, I will go through the report with you. With the concerns of citizens and the level of corruption, whether it's in Kitts or anywhere else. I will show you. Just bear with me, folks. So, folks, just bear with me. We're getting some breaking news here on CIP. Okay, folks, so we're just receiving some breaking news here. Some breaking news concerning the CIP program. And the breaking news is that MSR Media will be making a major announcement tomorrow. Again, IMSR will be making a major announcement tomorrow concerning the CIP. And we are hearing from our news desk here, and I am watching the cable right now. What we are hearing is that major evidence will be released tomorrow. All right, so we're just trying to get that thing hot from the press. So we have some breaking news, friends, and that is tomorrow, the 21st of August, the MSR media will be breaking major news on the CIP scandals, CIP gates. Also, evidence is going to be released. It is confirmed. Evidence will be released by MSR Media tomorrow. You got to watch all spaces for those developments tomorrow, friends. All right. So please, you need to start typing. You need to start sharing this information. MSR will be releasing major breaking news concerning the CIP gates, and also they will be putting out evidence tomorrow, and you will be updated as the night go by. You will know place, what is going to happen, where it's going to happen, and how you can have access to those evidence that is going to be released tomorrow. It's going to be released tomorrow. Okay, so good. All right, so let's move forward here with the information that we have now. But let's do this first. Let us continue with our regular programming, and let us go over to the hypocrisy of the St. Lucia Labour Party, friends. The hypocrisy of the St. Lucia Labour Party. I believe it is when the opposition, the now opposition, were Mr. Shastney, they were attempting to make some changes to the CIP. And so the SLP, they were in opposition. And I want you to listen to these guys carefully. I'm going to split the screen so that you can see me, I can see you, and we please share the live, folks. Please share the live. I tell you, you don't know where the program is going to go tonight, and so we anything is possible on tonight. But tomorrow morning there is going to be, not tomorrow morning, but tomorrow there is going to be some evidence that will be released to the public. All right, so let's go over to this clip here that we came across. There with us, we're trying to find that clip. You got to listen carefully. Sorry about that.
This morning,
You got to put on your hearing.
walk out of Parliament. And we did so to send a message to the government that they are abusing parliamentary procedure. They want to stifle our democracy, and the opposition will not be part of that. About 8 weeks ago, the Honourable Member for Kashmir South informed the Speaker that there would be a negative motion would be tabled in the House, asking the House to negate the changes done by the government on the CIP program. We had discussions with the Speaker, and all was in order. When the other paper was released for the meeting this morning, we noticed that the matter of the motion by the member for Kashmir South had disappeared from the other paper. It was there, up to last night, but this morning it disappeared. All the processes and the procedures required for the laying of a motion in the House was met by the member for Kashmir South. The notice of 6 days was given, and there was absolutely no reason why the motion should be removed from the order paper on the morning of the sitting of Parliament. We believe that the government is abusing its power and is part of a pattern being followed by this government. You may have noticed the attack on reporters. You may have noticed the attack on private citizens. You may have noticed the attack of the Prime Minister calling people hypocrites and liars in public. You may have noticed how the government always seems to be deflecting facts. And we believe that the government does not want the people of St. Lucia to hear what they've done as far as the CIP program is concerned. We believe that the changes in the CIP program are a risk to our national security. We believe that the public should be aware of what the government intends to do. We believe that the public should know how many citizens have been given our passports, and we also believe that the government should give full disclosure on the reasons why they did not want followed and all the procedures.
Now, hold a minute, folks. Now, I want you to understand what is happening here. This is the St. Lucia Labour Party in opposition. This is the St. Lucia Labour Party in opposition, complaining that they did not know the amount of passports that was issued to Galaxy or to any other agents, CIP agent. They are complaining. It's like deja vu. They are complaining and they're saying that the people must know. They are saying that the people must know. This is the now Prime Minister, then opposition leader, concerning CIP. You got to put in your earphone, friends. This is from their own people. This is their own people throwing them under the bus. This is their own people saying to us that them fellas are a bunch of bandits because they say one thing in opposition and now they have the opportunity to do something else. They are hiding. They got to ask Galaxy whether they can tell you the amount of passports. But in opposition, they're saying that they need to know. They need to know. Tell us how much. Tell us. And this government is insulting people and calling people names when they ask them questions. This government is doing worse than they were accusing the United Workers' Party of doing. Let us go back to the clip. Listen, put your earphone on, people.
Are a risk to our national security. We believe that the public should be aware of what the government intends to do. We believe that the public should know how many citizens have been given our passports, and we also believe that the government should give full disclosure on the reasons why they did not want followed and all the procedures were accurate and correct.
So, Reverend, every time I look at this government, I see a bunch of hypocrites, deceivers, secret agents of the state. He believes that the people must know. But here, the people of St. Lucia, they're asking him, Mr. Prime Minister, to tell them the amount of passports that was issued and where the money is, but all of a sudden, he can't talk. They're saying nothing. They're saying a whole set of stuff, but yet saying nothing to the people of St. Lucia. These are who you have in your government today. They say one thing in opposition. When they get into power, they say something totally different. Let him finish, because he is saying a lot. I know some of you want to know where you get that clip. Listen to me. We have our sources, and our sources are SLP, not UWP, all right? So let's go back a little more. Let's go back a little more and listen to what the Prime Minister is saying.
We will not be part of that, and then we intend to continue to show the people of St. Lucia that this government is vindictive, is dictatorial, it abuses power. If it can do that after less than 1 year in office, we can imagine what can happen when they are in power for a longer period. The opposition has been very tolerant, we've been very disciplined, we have allowed the government to do what it has to do, but we believe that the time has come when we have to take a stand. We have to protect our democracy, we have to protect our patrimony, and we have to protect the people of St. Lucia. The Honorable Ernest Hilaire will outline to you what some aspects of the program and why and the procedure and the process he used to get a motion to the House.
The mic just push it down a little.
Now, folks, hold a minute. Before Mr. Hilaire speaks, remember, these are the same players who are in the game. The players have not changed. Same players, Hilaire, the Prime Minister. Nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed is that they are in government now. They are the government of the day. You understand what I'm saying? We are going to go back. I want this to soak in. By the way, tag a friend, call a friend, let them know that they got to be on. Let them know that they must be on tonight. You don't know where the program is going to go tonight, friends. But tonight is a packed night. So we're going to hold off on the calls for a bit. We have a number of items that I found that I believe they are of importance to you, the citizens. Call everybody. Let them know they got to be on. Wake up, everybody. They got to be on the platform tonight because we're exposing the hypocrisy of this government. We are exposing the hypocrisy of this Labour Party government. It is the worst that we have seen, that I have seen. The same, and God is so faithful that the same thing that they're talking about and have a big issue with, now the tables have turned, they have made it worse, and now the people are asking them the same questions that they were asking, and now they are saying to the citizens, not so fast, don't ask us them questions, it's not your business, we're not telling you nothing, we got to ask the company first before we can tell you. The same people. I want us to play this back again, and again.
Are risks to our national security.
National security.
We believe that the public should be aware of what the government intends to do. We believe that the public should know how many citizens have been given our passports, and we also believe that the government should give full disclosure on the reasons why they did not want followed and all the procedures were accurate and correct. We will not be part of that, and then we intend to continue to show the people of St. Lucia that this government is vindictive, is dictatorial, it abuses power. If it can do that.
So, UWPs, Mr. Prime Minister Pear has given us all the talking points to deal with him. In other words, he said to us that his government is vindictive. They are secretive. They are bad for St. Lucia. And that the people have run out of patience with them. And it is time for the people to stand up and stop this madness. He, the Prime Minister, in opposition, have given us all the right ways for us as citizens and as opposition to deal with the very same issue that he was complaining about. So one, we know that he and his party and his government, they are vindictive. That's what he said to us. All right? You got to listen, friends.
We believe that the public should know how many citizens have been given our passports, and we also believe that the government should give full disclosure on the reasons why they did not want to follow.
Good. So, St. Lucian's now, based on the remedy that you have given to us, Mr. Pear, you got to clear the air and you got to explain to the people what's going on in CIP.
And all the procedures were accurate and correct. We will not be part of that, and then we intend to continue to show the people of St. Lucia that this government is vindictive, is dictatorial, abuses power. It can do that after less than 1 year in office.
So, folks, after 3 years in office, we are saying that this government abuses its powers. And these are words coming out from the then opposition leader, Mr. Philip J. Pear. And by the way, again, I'm reminding you that we are dealing with the very same issue, but worse. This time, it is in the U.S. court. This time, it is in the U.S. court. But go ahead.
You can imagine what can happen when they're in power for a longer period.
Can you imagine, based on what Mr. Pear is saying, what is going to happen if we allow these fellas to be in power for a long time? Folks, this is the y'all think this is made up stuff. This is Pear telling us exactly what we should be doing. He is saying to us that we should never allow his administration to continue in power. We must ask the Governor General to ask the Prime Minister to dissolve his cabinet and call the elections. That's what he's telling us. You folks got to listen. This is the solution that he is giving us to deal with his government on the same issue, CIP.
Vindictive, is dictatorial, it abuses power. If it can do that after less than 1 year in office, you can imagine what can happen when they're in power for a longer period. The opposition has been very tolerant. We've been very disciplined. We have allowed the government to do what it has to do, but we believe that the time has come when we have to take a stand. We have to protect our democracy, we have to protect our patrimony, and we have to protect the people of St. Lucia. The Honorable Ernest Hilaire will outline to you what some aspects of the program and why and the procedure and the process he used to get the motion to the House.
The mic, just push it down a little. Push it forward to you.
Thank you very much, political leader, members of the media, St. Lucian overseas following us. Today is a real sad day for us in St. Lucia. And I'm frightened as a parliamentarian with what's happening in St. Lucia. We have a government that since it came into power in June last year has shown that it is the most vindictive government we've ever had in our history. We've seen a government led by the Prime Minister that has shown complete disdain and disregard for public opinion, wanting to force decisions on our people without even giving the electorate and citizens of St. Lucia an opportunity to express their views on it. And if they do so...
Okay. St. Lucians, I want you to brace yourself. Those of you who have high blood pressure, get your pills. Those of you who normally pass out when you get certain news, go take your medicine, Pepsi-Dismol, whatever it is, your ginger, because what you will hear tonight, you will swear that somebody sat somewhere and wrote this script and then flipped the script. You would swear, folks, that, I mean, these fellas are in the... I am telling you, you see God? Don't mess with him, you know. And I keep telling you that righteousness will exalt a nation and sin will bring reproof on. When I say to you, friends, that every deed and every word is recorded and shall be judged, the Labour Party is being judged right here on earth, not even in heaven or in hell, right here on earth, by their own words. The very same thing that they're accusing the 1-year-old Alan Shastney administration of doing, these fellas are reading their very own script that they wrote and they're playing it out right before our eyes. These folks lied to us. This SLP administration and party lied, misled the citizens of this country. In my humble estimation, based on the cure that Mr. Pear in opposition gave to us, the people now need to call on the government of St. Lucia to resolve its government and call fresh elections. But let's go on. Let's go on. Let's go on. Let's rewind it a little more. I suspect we'll be stuck on this one video. We have a whole set of them, but this one is giving us a whole lot of insight as to the thinking of this party. It is a script that was well written, but sadly the script was delivered to them fellas by error. And now they got to deal with their own script that they wrote. We're just reading it to them. Wow. Go ahead, mister.
Has shown that it is the most vindictive government we've ever had in our history. We've seen a government led by the Prime Minister that has shown complete disdain and disregard for public opinion, wanting to force decisions on our people without even giving the electorate and citizens of St. Lucia an opportunity to express their views on it. And if they do so, like the politician said, they are called hypocrites. That when they...
Oh, boy. Folks, do you remember just last week that this government, this SLP party, called us hypocrites? Do you remember this same party called us last week fools because of the questions we were asking that they said to us that we should ask a government? They in opposition said that we should ask those questions to the government in power. They are the government in power now. We are reading their script. Don't forget that. So you're not supposed to call the people fools and hypocrites, and because the people are asking people the government question, they're being ridiculed and called all sorts of names. And folks, this is a script made, I don't know, it wasn't, not in Dominica, it was written. It was written there in St. Lucia. And it is coming home to hunt them fellas now. Everything, whether it's the airport or roads or the hospital, that them fellas wrote their script on, it is coming back to bite them. And that is unrighteousness that is being paid for in the now and not the then. But go ahead. We listening. We paying attention and we will follow the script. You tell us what to do. We listening.
Prime Minister that has shown complete disdain and disregard for public opinion, wanting to force decisions on our people without even giving the electorate and citizens of St. Lucia an opportunity to express their views on it. And if they do so, like the politician said, they are called hypocrites. That when they express their views as to what they believe is important, the safeguarding of our patrimony, they ridicule. And the whole notion of patrimony is being ridiculed. And when you thought it could get no worse, we have a situation where Parliament, the highest decision-making body in the country, Parliament where the people expect the elected representative to speak on their behalf and represent them, a Parliament that prescribes the manner in which laws of this country are made. And when Parliament itself is now being disrespected, I believe we're sinking to the lowest depth.
Folks, I can't believe what I'm hearing here. We witnessed for 3 years deliberate attack on the Honorable Alan Chastney in the House. Every question that Mr. Chastney asked in the House, he came on the heavy attack from the Speaker to the last rat or mosquito in the House. He was told he's not one of us, he's white, he have an accent, and he should leave our house and go back to his country, his father, and all kind of story. They in the House turned the House into Marsha ground. And you know what? They even attempt to remove the man's salary from him. King said he saw Chastney behind a van going to Deglo. The one who broke into the church to disrupt the church service said, this guy, and he said the worst of things about Mr. Chastney, his accent. People believe him because he have an accent. One minister cursed the F notes. The Speaker of the House tried to drag Mr. Chastney before a special council so that he can be removed from the House in an attempt to silence him. It ended up in court, and the government or the Speaker and his cabals have to pay Mr. Chastney. I hope Mr. Chastney cashed in already like the Prime Minister. Folks, I tell you, righteousness exalts the nation, and truth always triumphs. Today, truth has come to bite the Labour Party in their face, and they can't deal with it. It is too much for them. They can't deal with their own prescription. They wrote the prescription, and we are administering their own prescription, and they can't take it. It's like a nurse who likes to give people injection, but she can't take it for herself. Them fellas are bad nurses. But we got them. And so, Mr. Hilaire speaks of the dysfunction and the attempt to silence the members who were duly elected to represent the people in the House.
Representative to speak on their behalf and represent them. A parliament that prescribes the manner in which laws of this country are made. And when parliament itself is now being disrespected, I believe we're sinking to the lowest depth that one can.
So if we were sinking then, it means whole konupabo, friends. No baglo. Because if the Titanic had hit the iceberg and it was sinking slowly then, we do no paglo, whole konupabo. That's why I always say, and I will repeat it again, friends, the truth will set you free. No matter how long it takes, the truth will come back to get you. Because the author of truth is not the author of confusion. No, friends, the author of truth is not the author of confusion. The author of confusion is the enemy of truth. It's a lie. It's Babylon. And it sounds to me like we are living in the toenails of prophecy. But the only difference is that the Labour Party have hastened these events on themselves because they wrote their own script and we are reading their script.
The law is very clear. Regulations can be changed subject to negative resolution. That's what the law says. The Prime Minister knows that. He's the Minister for Citizenship and Investment. The Attorney General would have told him so. And therefore, once they had tabled in Parliament on February 7th the changes to the regulations of the CIP, they knew there was going to be the submission of a resolution, a negative resolution. That was very clear. We said so in press conferences, we've said so in discussion with people of St. Lucia, that we were going to follow the procedure. Now let me explain to you the procedure. The whole procedure for negative resolution is clearly spelled out. The minister announced changes and they come into effect. In the shortest possible time, the minister needs to table those changes in Parliament. So, on January 5th, the minister announced changes to the CIP regulations to come into effect on January 1st. At the sitting of Parliament on February the 7th, the minister tabled the SI with the changes. According to the regulations, we have a certain number of days within which we must table our negative resolution. On March 8th, within the prescribed time, we table, by sending to the Speaker, a copy of our negative resolution. It means that the copy of the negative resolution has been in Parliament for over a month, or at least a month.
So those folks are not ignorant. They know the procedures, and and you know, they know all the CIP procedures and everything else, and we are seeing something else. Huh? Huh? Okay, good. So let me do this, folks. Let me just take a break. And I want to report, we have some breaking developments coming in to our news desk from the MSR media here in the United States. And the MSR media, they will be releasing tomorrow evidence pertaining to the CIP gates. And you got to clear your slate, charge your phones, get yourself together. Tomorrow, MSR, and this is breaking news for us, will be releasing evidence on the CIP gates. It is going to be done tomorrow, and I'm going to be repeating this as often as I can tonight until we get ourselves ready for this CIP bomb. This might be the first series of bombing that is going to drop tomorrow. I heard somebody say that one of the machines of the party said that, hey, that was the bomb, Philip Jiffy. That was the bomb. And they say, hey, that bomb didn't do nothing. So the bomb is intended to do whatever it needs to do, and that is to give us a better CIP program. But tomorrow, MSR Media will be officially releasing some evidence to you, the citizens of the country. Over to you, Mr. Healy, because you are very professional in this field and you are giving us some guidance.
At least a month. Now, you would really have to stretch it.
No, but what is going to drop tomorrow, we're not giving you a month, it's just going to drop. But you go ahead with your 7-year-ago CIP on the opposition side. You were saying what you were saying there.
To tell me that the Speaker would have had a copy of this resolution for 1 month in Parliament, and the Attorney General would not have seen it or heard of it, the Prime Minister would not have seen it or heard of it. Can you believe that?
Yes, we can, because your Prime Minister don't know anything that's going on in CIP or anything else based on what he's saying to us. He did not know Claude Emmanuel was heading to Washington. He had no idea. We have that documented. You confirmed it in an address to the nation too. You were not aware either. Yes, you were not aware. And I mean, people are looking forward to hearing a different side of the story. Who knows? Tomorrow, they might get the facts because you said, remember, that you don't know. Prime Minister don't know, and nobody know. Claude Emmanuel just sneaked out and went to Washington and just talked to lawyers because he was frightened. He was afraid. Well, get some sleeping pills tonight, fellas. Get a good rest. And we look forward to hearing. And I'm going to ask you St. Lucians, listen for yourself. I want you to gather all this information. There's a special prosecutor that is being paid by the government of St. Lucia. Use him. You need to ask the special prosecutor St. Lucians to do his job. Give him somebody need to call him, text him, email him and say, look, here is something that we believe as citizens that you need to look into. Where are the citizenry? Where are the people? Let the prosecutor know that the government is not saying much to us. We are confused more. We're hearing from international media and international courts. Why are you as special prosecutor being paid? Who you have eyes for? Only Chasney? Who do you have eyes for? Who? This is not a love affair. Who you have eyes for? Do your job. Get to work. Go ahead.
Are you saying to me that the Speaker has no conversation with the AG, no conversation with the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister is the leader of government business in the House, which means he needs to be informed of every item that will be brought before the House when it sits? The order paper was issued. We were informed, every single one of us were informed on Thursday last week, certainly in my case, that there's going to be a sitting of Parliament and what the order paper was. Now make note, every item on the order paper came to our notice of last week Thursday, except for the negative resolution, because we had always said we were going to submit it. So every other item on the order paper only came to our notice on Thursday. The Speaker says the Prime Minister wrote to her and says they need more time to prepare for the discussion on CIP. Two things. One, it's been in Parliament for over a month. The Prime Minister ought to know that, the AG ought to know that. And in any case, that's how the law is changed. You submit the changes and there is a resolution in the House. So you know it was coming. There's no two ways about it, because that's what the law says. It has to come. Secondly, the Prime Minister says in his letter to the Speaker that they need more time to prepare because he only saw it on Friday last week. But every other item on the order paper, we only saw the same time as the Prime Minister saw ours, if he is speaking the truth. So why can't they continue to debate all the other legislative changes and expect us to debate all those legislative changes that we only saw last week Thursday? But he cannot debate the CIP changes that he knew from the 5th of January when it was announced there will be a negative resolution. They knew from early February when the House sat there will be a negative resolution. That he knew from March 8th when we submitted the negative resolution that it will have to be debated at the next sitting of the House. How do you expect all the other items to be debated, but not this one? If ours have not been sufficiently provided in terms of time, all the other items on the agenda have the same fate, because all the items on the agenda came at the same time. Think about it. How could you tell us you only knew about it on Friday? Ask questions and to represent the people of St. Lucia. But if you cannot give us a chance to represent the people of St. Lucia in Parliament, what do you want us to do? First, you remove the motion on the order paper, and you do not even want to give us a chance. What is the Prime Minister afraid of? Why doesn't he want a debate on CIP?
Wow, folks, we're getting there. We're almost there, but just listen, folks. You guys gotta have patience. You gotta listen.
Why? Can somebody tell me?
We don't know.
Why is it the Minister for Citizenship and Investment, the Prime Minister, does not want a debate on CIP? Because today we are going to provide the reasons why the CIP, as constituted now, with the changes that have been made, is undermining the reputation and the image of St. Lucia. That the changes made poses a serious risk to our security in this country. And the Prime Minister does not want us to say that in the House of Assembly. He believes that he can defer it, and if possible...
Now, folks, this is the same government, who is in charge of CIP now, who don't want us to talk about CIP. They say we're trying to destroy the country. We're trying to take away corresponding banks. We don't want good for the country. We're talking about CIP this and CIP that. And Lisa was threatening the CIP staff and blah, blah, blah. And what have changed? What have changed? What's new?
It can be struck off completely. But we're not going to allow that to happen. Because there are some fundamental questions as it relates to the CIP that must be answered for the people of St. Lucia. Must be.
Mwen pa sa pou maje beti sa. Mwen pa sa pou maje beti sa.
Hile, did you see what you just said there? Say it again, bro.
Questions as it relates to the CIP that must be answered for the people of St. Lucia. Must be answered.
Now, it must be answered, folks, under Alan Chastney. But not now. Nothing should be answered because we have to ask Galaxy first. We don't ask us. We have to ask them. We don't know. We don't know. The money's not you alone. Lucians, what's your bread? This is a moment in history. And when I say to you all guys that we're documenting history, you think I'm joking. This is exactly what a generation will do when we are gone. They will sit here and split the screen. And they will look at us like a bunch of morons and schmucks and idiots in a society. And they would laugh at us. And some of them would remove our tombstones because we don't even deserve a tombstone, because we're a bunch of hypocrites and forgetful men who say one thing, and when the same situation comes for us to deal with, we deal with it exactly the way we're complaining. But let's go.
If you read the CIP legislation, the financial year ends March 31st. And there are supposed to be annual reports on the performance of the CIP as mentioned by the political leader.
Reports? Did somebody say reports? Hold it. Hold.
Mwen pa sa pou maje beti sa. Mwen pa sa pou maje beti sa.
Hold. Did you say reports? Did you just say that? I mean, you can't just... Did you say that?
We're not going to allow that to happen.
No.
Because there are some fundamental questions as it relates to the CIP that must be answered for the people of St. Lucia. Must be answered. If you read the CIP legislation, the financial year ends March 31st. And there are supposed to be annual reports on the performance of the CIP.
Oh, no.
Mwen pa sa pou maje beti sa. Mwen pa sa pou maje beti sa.
And usher him out. Take his microphone.
No, don't usher him out yet. We want to hear more. Folks, don't play with God, you know. Lucians, I think I need to take a break because I'm something is wrong with my head because I am hearing the same guy who complained about reports and they have not given any reporters yet, about CIP. They're still hiding the reports. And they said, no, how can we put out reports? The report is still being done, it's not ready yet. A matter of fact, we do not even know who is in charge of our CIP office. We don't know who the staffs are anymore. We are more confused. You hear one guy is no more the chair, another one is no more the legal counsel, and there's a whole set of melee. But here we have, folks, a moment in time. The song says, give me one moment in time. Look, the moment, me moment a causa. And the moment is from them fellas in opposition. Now they're in government. They are dealing with the very same situation. CIP. But we will listen. We have time.
Mentioned by the political leader. We need to know, and now 2 reports will be due. 2 reports will be due.
Hold a minute, toy. Hold it. Brethren, what is going on here? Are we together? Am I good? The same 2 reports is missing. No. Oh. Brethren, my eyes look red. The same 2 reports. We can't get the reports yet. Hold come with Pabo swear me say how. Mahabwe come veglo. Come with Pabo. Hypocrisy at its highest level. I have never seen hypocrisy at this level, friends, like I am seeing it now. Hold come with Pabo right now. But listen.
Know how many persons have been given citizenship? Who are they? Which countries are they from? We need to know how much money was made, and we need to ask the Prime Minister.
Mwen pas sa pou Major Betisa. Mwen pas sa pou Major Betisa.
Folks, I almost drank hand sanitizer. Whoa.
And there are supposed to be annual reports on the performance of the CIP as mentioned by the political leader. We need to know, and now 2 reports will be due. 2 reports will be due. We need to know how many persons have been given citizenship. Who are they? Which countries are they from? We need to know how much money was made. And we need to ask the Prime Minister, where has the money gone? Where has the CIP money gone?
we walker is a land do this and a land do that. He brainwashing we, even that singing about he. Oh Lord, is a land do this, a land do that, a land do this, a land do that. 15 do that. Walker, oh Lord, a land, a land, a land.
Whew. Okay. Honestly, some them footy one pluck must recover up to now. Honestly, whole come with problem we do. Reverend, come with problem we do, whole come with problem. 7 years later. Go ahead.
And there are supposed to be annual reports on the performance of the CIP as mentioned by the political leader. We need to know, and now 2 reports will be due. 2 reports will be due. We need to know how many persons have been given citizenship. Who are they? Which countries are they from? We need to know how much money was made. And we need to ask the Prime Minister, where has the money gone? Where has...
WTF. They chastise Shasne for wanting to know WTF. Where the money? Somebody call Alan Shasne. Tell him call us, please. Let me ask you, UWP people, those of you who voted for these fellas, what were you thinking? Now you believe us that they were lying on Mr. Shasne and the United Workers' Party? Now you believe that nothing that these guys say you can trust, you can believe, you can... Do you understand that these guys have lost all their moral bearings and they are no authority in this country? Guys, do you realize that the Lord have set it up that these guys wrote their very own script all by themselves, and it is playing out in real time before your eyes? Now, they thought this one was lost. They could have erased it, but I was able to bring it into my database. Brethren, I sat today investigating. I spent all day. And that's why you guys have to support, because it looked like I wouldn't be able to go to any work anymore. All I got to do is search. And oh boy.
That must be answered for the people of St. Lucia. Must be answered. If you read the CIP legislation, the financial year ends March 31st. And there are supposed to be annual reports on the performance of the CIP as mentioned by the political leader. We need to know, and now 2 reports will be due. 2 reports will be due. We need to know how many persons have been given citizenship. Who are they? Which countries are they from? We need to know how much money was made. And we need to ask the Prime Minister, where has the money gone? Where has the CIP money gone? Where has it gone? Because you are supposed...
Mwen pas ap wè maji beti sa. Mwen pas ap wè maji beti sa.
according to legislation, say where the money has gone. But we would be asking those questions today. In the changes to the regulations made when it was tabled in February, 20% of all monies will be retained by the CIP board for marketing and promotion. When we raised questions with that, the Prime Minister said, no, it's not for marketing and promotion, it's for operational expenses. Now, we need to see the figures of the CIP. We need to know where the money has gone, what it has been used.
So, folks, sorry.
And usher him out. Take his microphone and usher him out.
So, hold it, brother. So, those are the very identical questions that the United Workers' Party are asking. These are the very same questions that the opposition leader, Mr. Chasney, and his team, and the people of St. Lucia are asking you, the government. But you threaten to take them to court and to get money from them. It's the same people you're talking about, the same people, same St. Lucian people. What you think it's somebody else? You think it's Dominicans? It's St. Lucians we're talking about, the same people. Some of them got a little older after 7 years, but it's the same people. Oh my God, just breathe tonight, boy. Like I sure swear. Woo. Brethren, I have over 10 clips there sitting, queued in, and we're not going to touch, we're going to be stuck on this one. Trust me, we're going to be stuck on this one. I want you to listen again, let it play. We're going to let it play.
We're asking those questions today. In the changes to the regulations made when it was tabled in February, 20% of all monies will be retained by the CIP board for marketing and promotion. When we raised questions with that, the Prime Minister said, no, it's not for marketing and promotion, it's for operational expenses. Now, we need to see the figures of the CIP. We need to know where the money has gone, what it has been used for. Because there are marketing agencies, marketing St. Lucia. According to the agreement with them, they get 10% commission. So if marketers are already getting 10% commission, why are you taking 20% more for marketing and promotion? Because his argument that 20% is not for marketing and promotion as the legislation, the new regulations say, but for operational purposes. I can say to you, and you can do the math. Every application to CIP, there is a $2,000 non-refundable administrative processing fee. Every application. So if for 1 year, in 1 month, CIP moves 50 citizenships, that's $100,000, $250,000 EC dollars. In addition, there are due diligence fees, and those fees are higher than what is actually charged for due diligence. So the average due diligence is $5,000. We charge $7,500, an extra $2,500 for administrative processes. So on every application, you earn $2,000 non-refundable administrative, plus $2,500 of the due diligence fees, $4,500. If you move 50 citizenships in 1 month, calculate 50 by $4,500. Calculate it. That's more than enough money to run the operations of the CIP unit. So the Prime Minister said that 20% was not for marketing and promotion when we cornered him to explain why you are taking 20% when you're already paying marketers 10%. But we can prove that the CIP unit is making enough money of administrative fees to run its own operation. So who is being paid that 20% marketing and promotional fees? We wanted to ask the Prime Minister about the role of Henley and Partners in St. Lucia. The same company that was discussing with the UWP government when it was in power in 2006 to set up a program in St. Lucia for them to have exclusive rights to it. Was the same company writing negative articles about St. Lucia throughout the world about how bad our program was. We're going to provide the evidence today. And then,
folks, there is evidence. There is evidence. Now, this is 7 years ago. You know, we're still talking about evidence coming out tomorrow. But same players. Reverend, this is 7 years ago under Alan Chastney when he first got elected. This is the first year of CIP. First year. And I will show you what the Americans said about the CIP program under Mr. Chastney. But listen to them, fellas. They have evidence. Where's the money? Where's the money? Who have the money? We want the money.
Last month, February, Henry announced that he had opened an office in St. Lucia to advise the government of St. Lucia on CIP. And that office is being headed by a lawyer called Mark Maraj, who is the Prime Minister's personal lawyer. We wanted the Prime Minister to explain to us what...
So, hold. So, Mark Maraj, the Prime Minister's personal lawyer. So, let me ask you, do you have a personal lawyer working anywhere in government? Hello? Do you have any friends or families, daughters working in CIP? Oops.
Mwen pas sa pou Maji Betisa. Mwen pas sa pou Maji Betisa.
This is the evidence before the evidence. So, Mr. Healy, do you have any friends or families or lawyers working in any... Talk to us, man. Come on, man. You wrote the script. We just reading the script. But you go ahead. We love you tonight, sir. We love you so much. But go ahead. We will listen. We have all...
We're going to provide the evidence today.
Tomorrow.
And then, in last month, February, Henry announced that he had opened an office in St. Lucia to advise the government of St. Lucia on CIP. And that office is being headed by a lawyer called Mark Maraj, who is the Prime Minister's personal lawyer. We wanted the Prime Minister to explain to us what is the role of Henry and Partners. Henry and Partners is not an appointed marketing agency because the legislation says if government appoints somebody, it has to be gazetted. It's not been gazetted. Henry and Partners cannot be an authorized agent to process applications because only St. Lucians and St. Lucian-owned companies can do so. Then what's the role of Henry in St. Lucia? And how can Henry and Partners open an office in St. Lucia? Do they have a trade license to operate in St. Lucia, to advise the government on CIP? Somebody needed to account to us what is the role of Henry and Partners in St. Lucia and to explain to us that 20% that has been kept, who is getting it? Now, they had a lot more that was going to come out in the House today. Now is not the time for us to go into all the details. At the right time, we will deal with it.
Why not? Go ahead.
But there is something wrong with the CIP right now in St. Lucia. There is something wrong with the CIP.
Duh, we know that. After 7 years. Prime Minister, family working in CIP, your buddies in CIP, and the same Henry Partners that you're talking about, I am sure that they're still working on CIP. Naughty boy. And I'm sure that there are no St. Lucians processing CIP passport. Yes. But go ahead, we're listening.
The government is trying to stifle any discussion on CIP.
Oh, no, you didn't say that one.
But there's a lot.
Oh, break it up. Hold it. Did I just hear you say that the then government is trying to stifle discussion on CIP? Who is walking around threatening journalists? Come on, you can say it. Healy. Who is the one walking around threatening to sue people, to silence them? You. Yes, it's you. The table has turned, and we are using your script. So you are trying to stifle the discussion. Ain't it, Mr. Healy? Because you guys wrote this script. And I say to the St. Lucian people that this is a script from hell. And it's coming back to burn you, the authors of the script. Where's the money? Are you trying to stifle the discussion? And question, who is working in the CIP office? Is there any lawyer friend or buddy or family member of anybody sitting next to you? Is there a son, a daughter, an auntie, a nenen, a jabal? Is there anybody sitting next to you with somebody working in the CIP office, sir? Just a question.
That needs to be said, and the Prime Minister does not want us to say it, in the Parliament of St. Lucia, where it will go on official record as the business of this country. And the St. Lucia Labour Party will, very shortly, political leader, we will deal in greater detail with the CIP and our position on the CIP. But today, let us focus on how of a sad day it is for St. Lucia. When you say to me, all the procedures were followed for a motion to be placed before the House and debated, and the Prime Minister will instruct the Speaker to take it off the order paper and will inform us minutes.
So remember, they said to us that the opposition is trying to stain the good name of St. Lucia. Remember that? The opposition, they're trying to stain the good name of St. Lucia worldwide and mess up corresponding banks. Were you guys trying the same thing back then? No? No? But finish the thing, man. We tried to finish this thing.
And we're not even giving us a chance in Parliament to ask her what happens next. What's the procedure for what happens next? Because you cannot just tell us it will be heard at another sitting. Because we know this is the last sitting before the end of Parliament. You cannot treat parliamentarians with such disregard and disdain. And if the Speaker does not want to stand up to the Prime Minister and say to him there is decency and decorum in Parliament, then we as the opposition will have to do it for him. We have to do it. Because we cannot allow our democracy to be measured by our credit ratings. Cannot be allowed. Thank you very much.
Take a question. Yeah. Speaking again, Mr. Allo?
And I just wanted to bring your attention to the press, the behavior of the members of the government side. You saw the behavior of the member for Cashew Southeast. You saw how they trampled on the speaker. He shouted at her. So I just wanted to bring attention. You see, it's part of a trend, and that's the same member who made the point that the supporters of our party had just begun to cry. I just want to show you the trend that's what's happening. You see, it's a government that's vindictive. It's a government that believes that once 90% of the people are supporters of the SLP, these people should suffer. It's a government that has done, it's the only government in the history of St. Lucia democracy that has fired a cabinet secretary. That has never happened in St. Lucia's history. A cabinet secretary has been fired. This government has fired a cabinet secretary who is the head of the civil service. So this government doesn't want to follow any rules and regulations. This government is vindictive. This government victimizes, and this government's prime role is, as the member for Castries South said, to make us cry. But we believe that the government will have to be stopped. We can't allow the government to trample on the rights of the people. With only 8 months after coming into office, the government doesn't allow a motion.
So 90% of the people in St. Lucia are SLPs, but they are not in. They were not in power then. They're in opposition, but 90% of the people are SLP. You heard it?
To be debated. We think that is dangerous, and it's an affront to our democracy and the St. Lucia Labour Party and the 47,000 people who voted for us will not allow that to happen.
37,000.
Coming out of what you said, if I were to write a report tonight and quote the opposition, who would I say that they placed the ultimate blame on for the chain of events leading to the walkout of the House?
Well, I can give you the letter to read.
So are you saying it's the Speaker or the Prime Minister?
I'll give you the letter.
Well, exactly.
The Prime Minister
the
instructed them to take it
Prime
out.
Minister, you see, the letter says, and it's clear, the letter says that I wish to request, and you can get a copy, that the said motion be removed from the order paper and not be debated.
Okay, let's go forward.
You see, we can't have a country that is dictated by the whims and fancies of the Prime Minister. It cannot be. This country must be run by rules and regulations. The rules and regulations speak to how motions must be brought to the House. It speaks to it clearly. It says on Standing Order 32, I think it says 6 clear days. 6 clear days was given. It speaks of the language of the motion, the language of deliberate and incompetent judgment. 6 days is not enough. It is not within its purview. The Prime Minister is not a prime dictator. The Prime Minister is the Prime Minister of the country, and he's been elected by the people of St. Lucia, and he must follow the rules and procedures and processes of the Parliament and of the laws of St. Lucia. The Prime Minister has some. They do not want discussion on a serious issue of the sale of our passports, the sale of our citizenship. Is a serious issue. The government does not want to debate it. We have heard that the government has guaranteed 200 passports to a company, a liquor known company, for the so-called DSH investment. And they've committed to the company to reduce the price of our passports, which they have done. And further, they've paid that company a 15% discount on the sale of our passports. So you have $100,000, and they've guaranteed the company a 15% discount. And the Prime Minister says that they take out another 20% for administration fees. So you wanted to ask whether that also relates to the company that they've promised 200 passports. You know, because there are many issues we wanted to discuss. But as is the usual form, the government believes in.
So they complain that the Alan Shasta administration, now this is after they had walked out of the House, disrupted it. Now he's accusing the Prime Minister, then Prime Minister Mr. Chasney, of promising DHS or DHL or DH whatever it is, 200 passports, guaranteeing them 200 passports. But here is the same government giving Galaxy 700 passports more, 700 extra passports.
Deflection, in spinning, in attacks, in bluff, spinning, deflection, and attacks. And they do not want us. They don't want to deal with the crux of the issue, which is a discussion on the CIP program.
So, Mr. P, you haven't answered the ex-movers yet?
We are in discussion. We are party. We are deliberate in our actions. Our actions are not done hastily. We are deliberate. We plan. We think about it. We take consensus, and then we act. But our prime responsibility is always to represent the interests of the people of St. Lucia.
Thank you. Sorry.
Actually, you cannot almost touch on it. I find it kind of strange that if all procedures are fault when it comes to the court of people, what goes on the court of people, how could one person determine what goes? Which isn't there some law in the standing order in Parliament saying if this is not done, then you have a pass over there? There's nothing of that sort. So if that is the case,
then I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I'm glad to say that it is really bad for you, because the government could have come to the House with that same motion and asked for an amendment. Then we'll have to debate the amendment.
You just give a letter. Can you tell us precisely what's happening next? What's the procedure for this to be, given that this is the last sitting of Parliament in the parliamentary year, but she will not allow any speaking. And then she will not allow, because members opposite were shouting to shut up and to, and punish them and whatnot. I mean, there you are. We followed all the procedure. It was on the order paper up to last night. It was on the order paper. This is a resolution stamped by Parliament.
Stand by Parliament. Fully very much.
Okay, so I have something else, folks. We're going to take a break from that because I see time is flowing on us. But, oh boy, folks. Oh my God, this is a lot. Let me just get another one, right? Let me go back. Just give me, this one is not going to be long. Just bear with me, folks. Just give me at least 15 more minutes before you leave me. Don't leave me yet. 15 more minutes, and I have some other stuff here that I would want to share with you. Now, while they were saying all what they were saying, right, let's go to a report on CIP on the Alan Chastney administration. I want you to listen to this report. Just bear with me. Let me just get it all charged up and over to our platform. Okay, here we go.
Entered into its 5th year, having first opened for business on 1st January 2016. During this time, the program has been credited by international agencies and watch groups for its value and offerings in the marketplace. And on March 30th, 2021, the annual Human Rights Report by the U.S. Department of State gave a passing grade to St. Lucia. The U.S. government report did not include the island's CIP program among that of OECS countries that were cited for lack of transparency. Chairman of the CIP board, Ryan DeVoe, says the board and the CIP unit have been resolute in ensuring strong governance, accountability, a focus on very high levels of compliance and due diligence. As a result, St. Lucia continues to demonstrate leadership within the region.
When we have these interactions on security, and I get involved in some of those meetings, Nesta Alfred as well, with the intelligence community, and we do those fairly regularly. And it's an integral part to the integrity of our entire program. And so I think, the fact that, finally it has been recognized, and so because I would say historically, the region was painted with a broad brush. And so the fact that that distinction is being made, I think is recognition of, the work and the effort we're putting in to ensure that these programs, or, the program in St. Lucia is well run, is transparent, is run with integrity, etc.
The CIP chairman says government's decision to introduce the legislation for the establishment of the National Economic Fund fundamentally changed the levels of accountability and transparency. The National Economic Fund is being governed by a board of directors that oversees the receipt, investment, and expenditure of the monies raised from CIP. Government has to apply to the board for use of those funds.
And that was always in the initial legislation, had not been put in place. It's finally now in place, and that is the mechanism, where funds are placed to then be, used within our economy. And obviously that's been one of the big, where's the CIP funds gone? And as I say, that, all of these things take time. I've learned, through this process that nothing happens as quickly perhaps as it could in the private sector. But, at the end of the day, we have been steadily working on these things, and they're all there to ensure, again, that the transparency, the integrity of the program is where we want it to be.
St. Lucia's Prime Minister Honorable Alan Chastney, who has responsibility for the CIP, has been lobbying for the creation of an OECS CIP program to better solidify the gains in the sub-region. Mr. DeVoe says there is great merit and value in that proposal.
I think, St. Lucia is a huge proponent of that. And again, when we drive, the integrity and the transparency that we believe we've demonstrated, we've done here in St. Lucia, we think that's important for the region. We think it's important for sustainability. When you talk about, due diligence and having a common standard, we fully support it. Our own Nesta Alfred is, is, chair of the regional committee of the CEOs, and so that is an agenda that we definitely support. You've seen recent traction with the ECCB, looking to, try and facilitate some of that.
For the financial year 2020-2021, March ending, St. Lucia received 415 CIP applications. 285 have been granted thus far. From the Government Information Service, Lisa Joseph reporting.
All right, so as you see there, Lisa has always been involved in the reporting of CIP matters. Now, by the way, we are live on GVD TV because of the intensity of this broadcast tonight. It is one of a difference. They had a program, and so they just quickly pulled us into the platform. So we want to welcome our GVD viewers to this platform. We're hoping that you can replay this entire show on a next broadcast, maybe tomorrow. But we have some breaking developments here for those of you who are just joining us on GVD channel, Flow channel there in the country. MSR Media, we are reporting that there is a major, there's going to be a major dump of information concerning the CIP program, evidence. Tomorrow, that is, we will give you the time, we will give you the locations by tomorrow. But those are the information that we're getting now. For those of you who are just viewing us, that the MSR Media will be releasing evidence tomorrow, sometime tomorrow. The platforms and the further information will be given to you. It will be given to you. So let's get back to work here. But again, welcome to our folks there at the GVD TV. So let's go quickly over to let me just see here. Let's see. We have so much, folks. Here is a company offering our passports. Let's get this company up and running. Folks, we're just going to take maybe 20 more minutes before. Just give me some time. Bear with me tonight. The program, as I said, has taken a different shift. So we're going to be just bearing along. We're not doing Juve. No. All right. But we have some more clips coming in. This is from a company that is selling the passports.
The buzz. Now let's talk about the payoff. Let's dive into the benefits. First off, accessibility. This is a huge plus. It opens the gates to 146 destinations, and that too visa-free, including Europe, Schengen area, Hong Kong, Singapore, the UK, and many more. Second, hassle-free application. Guess what? There is no requirement to actually reside or even ticket or even visit. Stay wherever you are and apply from your home country. Is that hassle-free? Third, family migration. Family is crucial, and St. Lucia knows it. Include your spouse, children under 31, siblings under 18, and parents aged 55 and over. It's a family affair. Fourth, financials and affordability. Rest assured, the investment and processing costs starts from minimum $90,000. Fifth, and the cherry on top, St. Lucia passport uncovered. The benefits part 2. You heard.
All right, so you heard there, it was going for as little as $90,000. $90,000. And those are the information that we uprooted from some sources there. All right. Okay, so let's go back again. We have another one. We have another one that is coming in here. All right, so we're going to upload it to our main system. We're going to upload it. Bear with us, folks. You're on to Caribbean American News Media Platform, and we are just looking at the whole CIP gates, and we're going way back in times in order for you to have a broader idea as to what is happening.
Launched its new brand and enhanced website as part of an overall strategy to become one of the most visible, viable, and unique programs internationally. The CIP's rebrand coincides with its 5th year of operation, and the program is now focused more than ever on using St. Lucia's citizenship in the furtherance of national development goals in the short to long term.
The new CIP visual identity incorporates the country's matriarchal brand, featuring the immediately recognizable famous pitons. However, the CIP notes that this rebranding is much more than a logo or a new look and feel in the market. It is the unveiling of an entire strategy in motion to develop and be perceived as the best run and most successful global citizenship program in the world. After 5 years of operating, the CIP is well poised to capitalize on an increased demand for investments via its citizenship program.
Even with COVID, when we would expect that there'd be a reduction of numbers, it is the best time that CIP has witnessed over the 5 years. And I think what underpins this is the basic principle that the issue of international mobility that is so required by people is not phased by whether there's a pandemic or not.
Persons want to move and they want that international mobility. And for St. Lucia, I think we were at the right time, the right place. And I think the whole rebranding and the whole narrative that we've written will really put us in good stead and will continue showing those increases in numbers.
A highlight of the rebranding is the enhanced website with user experience and user interface capabilities to allow for secure online applications, and also serves as a powerful marketing tool with its rich content and information. The brand pillars and the tagline for the re-imaged CIP are authentic, respected, secured.
At its core here, the integrity of our program is of utmost importance. So, for example, audits. Our program is audited every year. The financial statements, the entire report of the audit is delivered on time to Cabinet in line with legislative requirement. From an integrity point of view, I can sit here and say very clearly that every file that comes to the boardroom, and indeed every file must come to the board to be decided on. So it's a board of 5 that decides on every file, and every file that comes to our boardroom has had to go through all of the regulatory due diligence, all of the private due diligence, and then all of our national security and international security partners.
Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Honorable Alan Chasney, is pleased with the direction that the CIP has taken under his leadership. Key benefits from the revenue from the CIP program include availability and ease of access to affordable funding for investment and the development in the country via the National Economic Fund, as well as improving the country's net worth and credit rating.
In addition to improving the credit rating of our country, is that it drives investment. So whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in education, whether it's in infrastructure, it makes free capital, monies that, in fact, we don't have to pay for. It's like having grant money to invest in our country. The difference is my government is not intending to use it as grant money. We think that it should remain as equity or as a loan even to government in order to preserve and make sure it's a sovereign fund.
The impressive performance of the rebranded CIP, even with the context of COVID-19, is good news for the country, as the program seems poised to become a significant contributor to GDP and the furtherance of national development goals. From the Government Information Service.
All right, folks. So again, Lisa is on the ball, and you see how clear the CIP program was and how, it was something that was functioning, and the machine was put in place for CIP to be protected. The monies were kept in the consolidated funds. Then we hear that the SLP came in and they went into the house and changed how that money is being not only used, but what the funds and the access that was given to government to just use that fund without any checks and balances. Well, that's what I would say, checks and balances. These guys just want access to the funds. And we saw the argument by the Honorable Alan Chasney in the House, and we will play it one of these days. Let's listen to this.
As to what reforms, if any, there will be to the program. We do have great confidence in the new stewardship, and particularly the Honorable Ernest Hilaire. He was the pioneer, so to speak, and he launched the program in 2015, 2016, and so there is a in-depth understanding and great knowledge about CBI generally, and his oversight and control over the citizenship by investment unit is paired nicely with his responsibility for tourism as well.
What went
So
wrong?
I would expect a greater fostering and marriage of the two. Although that would just be me if I had to make a sort of an educational guess, and it would sit consistently with what he started when it started in 2015, 2016. The whole ethos was to foster greater development of our tourism product by improving our
So
root stock.
this is Mr. Dibole saying, look, based on the experience of Hilaire, we're going to have a beautiful CIP program, a good CIP program. Yeah? Yes. Did we get a good CIP program? It's in confusion right now, ain't it? Yeah? But we have something else. We have some more coming, folks. We have some more coming. Bear with me. Bear with me, folks. I do apologize that I'm overloading you tonight, but I'm giving you some background on this whole CIP deal, and you saw Mr. Chasney and his efforts in ensuring that this thing is secured. Let's go over to a report here. All right? Just bear with us. He tried to make an educational guess, but I guess something went wrong there. All right? Just bear with us. It's loading and it's ready.
This global competitive industry of the Citizenship by Investment Program. And with me is the chairman of the board for the CIP, Mr. Ryan DeVoe. Thank you so much for coming through. The discussion is going to be very wide-ranging, all centered on CIP. In the last 5 years, St. Lucia has had many successes when it comes to the CIP. There have been legislative changes to ensure our competitiveness. We've also launched the CIP bonds to reflect the time that we're in. And we talk about the success that we've been having with that, with the chairman, Ryan DeVoe. To start us off into what St. Lucia has been able to achieve has been recognized by the United States, along other international watchdogs, if you want to refer to them as that. And in a recent article, as recent as the 30th of March, 2021, the United States government cited the Citizenship by Investment Program in 3 Caribbean countries for lack of transparency in its latest human rights report. And in the corruption and lack of transparency in government section, the 2020 report identifies the CIP programs in Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, and St. Kitts Nevis as citizen concerns and oversight and corruption due to lack of openness. You know that for St. Lucia, this has been quite a concern of its own, ensuring that there is the transparency and that governance is at optimal, which is why there have been several legislative changes to ensure that. So, Mr. DeVoe, thank you so much for coming through, and this is a wonderful point to start off our discussion, because for the CIP program, there is always constant oversight, not just locally, but internationally as well. How did you receive this news that St. Lucia has not been cited by the United States report for lack of transparency?
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for the opportunity to be here and to, demystify, I guess, a lot of what CIP is and so on. With regard to the recent,
article that you referenced, I think we're very pleased that, the work we've been doing
from a due diligence point of view, the relationships we have, which are, ongoing, very proactive, very open with the U.S. as well as with many other international, security and due diligence agencies, where we have, very good relationships. And so, one of the things we had worked on with them was to say, we need that to be recognized, because, we hear it when we have these interactions on security, and I get involved in some of those meetings. Nesta Alfred as well, with the intelligence community, and we do those, fairly regularly. And it's an integral part to the integrity of our entire program. And so I think, the fact that, finally it has been recognized, and so because I would say historically, the region was painted with a broad brush. And so the fact that that distinction is being made, I think is recognition of, the work and the effort we're putting in to ensure that these programs, or, the program in St. Lucia is well run, is transparent, is run with integrity, etc. So we're pleased.
Now, since its launch in 2016, we've seen a few amendments to the legislation for the CIP. Walk us through what would have been the sort of game-changing pieces of regulation you believe that has positioned St. Lucia to not just be considered as having great transparency, but also positioning us in the marketplace for success.
Sure. So, if I use that 5-year period, we would go back to the early days when, even things like the investment amount for, the donation amount was decreased from 200 down to the 100. Obviously, at the time, it was controversial. And, we've carried that on by making changes now to the actual product. So in terms of, who is eligible, we've increased the ability to add in, additional persons, whether it's parents or children or even adopted children now. And again, all of that was feedback coming to us from the market that was saying, St. Lucia, you're not competitive, you're not, keeping up with
So basically, we will play these clips another time. But basically, what we're hearing under the United Workers' Party, the Alan Shastry administration, the U.S. government gave their approval to this program because of the level of management that were involved in the then CIP program. So the CIP program in 2020-21 got a thumbs up from the U.S. government, from law enforcement in the United States, because of the level of input that was done under the management of the program. Nowhere have we seen all this type of back and forth with the CIP program, but under the SLP administration. Under Shastry, we did not have all this drama. And it's clear because the U.S. gave their thumbs up to the program, friends. Now, I want to go quickly before we close, because I don't want you to get tired with me, but I want us to go over to St. Kitts and Nevis. Let me just try to pull this production up. We go over now to St. Kitts, and this is Mark Brantley, I believe, who was a member of the former administration, and he is now the premier of St. Kitts. He's now the premier of St. Kitts. So give me a minute. I'm going to pull him in to our system, and I want you, my people, to pay attention to what he is saying. All right? Folks, we're not playing around tonight. We are not, because your patrimony is truly at stake now. It is. So let's go over to former government official under the previous administration, now Premier of Nevis, Mr. Mark Brantley. We are going to pull him up, and this is recorded November 15th, 2023. Let's listen to him.
Service provider after service provider, expert after expert that I engage with, all trace the difficulties that our program is having back to this jail project that was approved and signed off on by Timothy Harris, Prime Minister Timothy Harris, as he then was. And so sometimes I hear all the sound and fury. And I said, you know what, why don't all of us take a step back? And I'm not here tonight trying to absolve myself, because I was a part of the government that approved the jail, albeit I didn't know anything about the jail. And I was as shocked as members of the public because, as I have explained to the public, it appears that there were a few cabinets in the unity administration. There was an inner cabinet, those who were on the inside knowing what was going on, and then a couple of us out in the yard.
So hold a minute. So this brother, he premier now, of course, of Nevis, he was part of the then administration, knew nothing about the jail project, nothing at all. So so he's saying it appears that there's a shadow kind of cabinet thing or government, one set knowing information and the other set not knowing. And it reminds me of St. Lucia, where Pierre is saying, I don't know. And then Hila is saying, I know, I don't know. And back and forth, nobody knows what's going on. And that's why more clarity is needed in St. Lucia. It is. Under Mr. Shastner, we didn't have all this. We were getting information. We were getting it. We were. And we must admit the truth. But let's play the entire clip.
In the yard. That's okay. Because at the end of the day, I said enough was enough, and we are now where we are. And so that is life. But I make the point that...
And by the way, let me just interject. He was the foreign minister then. Brethren, this is the foreign minister of St. Kitts and Nevis under the previous administration, and he, the foreign minister, is not aware of the prison project. But let's go, let the man talk.
Project appears to be the basic touchstone for a lot of the difficulties that we're now experiencing. I'm not going to get into too much more tonight, but I learned quite a bit when I was there of some of the things that were going on in relation to that particular project, and how the government then at the highest levels allowed massive underselling of the CBI program.
Mercy.
The passports were being sold like sugar cake. I wouldn't even say black pudding, because black pudding more expensive than sugar cake. It was giving developers 4,000 and 5,000 units to sell. And the reason they were giving them so many units is because they knew that these people were not selling the units at the legal and lawfully provided for price. And that's what was going on. So a project that should get 500 units to be sold at $250,000 I'm just drawing a reference. That project ended up asking for 5,000 and 6,000 units because they know they're only selling them for $5,000 and $6,000. That is really what happened, and that is what led to the problems. And the attitude of the then government was, we don't care. We don't care how much they're being sold for, because the government getting the same due diligence fees and the same registration fees, so the government is getting its pound of flesh, so we don't care. And in fact, it was said in the cabinet that these matters of underselling are private between vendor and purchaser. That's what was said. I'll get into who said it, but that is what was said. These are private matters between vendor and purchaser. And I remember, because I kept challenging it, and I asked the question, so are you saying to me therefore that if a man decided he will sell cocaine in the privacy of his bedroom, that is a private matter and the police can't intervene? And I was told, oh, that's different. How it is different, I don't know, because the law was very clear. This is the price, this is the level of investment. And you had officials conniving, encouraging, and were well aware of developers who were selling for $5,000 and $10,000 when the law said they should be selling for $200,000, and they allowed it. I'm not going to get into all of it. I'm hopeful I have an opportunity to speak in the Parliament, because I think that's where the country pays attention and you get to ventilate certain things. I think all of us, it will behoove all of us to take a step back.
Folks, this thing is a mess. And you think Mr. Martinez is forming the fool? You listen to this guy, the premier of Nevis, who was the former foreign minister, is saying that there was fraud. That some government ministers knew nothing about the deals. And he's admitting, and we heard Mr. Martinez said the same thing. They are admitting that the passports were being undersold. So this sounds like a joke to you, my people. Is this a joke? It sounds like a joke to you. Now, I said something earlier when we were dealing with St. Lucia. I said that that the SLP government gave 700 files to Galaxy. No, they gave 7,000. Then they said that it was already, basically what it sounds to me that they're saying to us too, that it's sold out, everything is done. So where's the money? If it's sold out, it was subscribed, everything is done, where is the money? What is going on with the hotel project? You get all the money, but the hotel is still standing there like a shell. St. Lucians, this is no game. This is no joke like those guys want you to believe. This is real stuff. I want you to pay attention. This is no time to form the fool and listen to nonsense and threats. I want you to understand what is happening here. Now, the final thing we want to do here, one thing I want to show you. I want to show you this government, how this organized they were in making decisions on this CIP, and it will give you an idea how the confusion, the type of confusion that was going on in this office. Because we had a major problem with the Russians, and we had a problem with the Iranis, where they should not have been getting any passport from any other foreign country because there was a big problem. But St. Lucia is saying that we're not going to discriminate against fellas. We giving everybody can have access. Once they come and file, they can get. And they say we're not going to discriminate. They said it. We're not going to discriminate. The Russians should be able to get passports. They should be able to apply like anybody else. And I want you to listen to this. Listen.
The government's decision to reopen applications to Iranians for second citizenship with St. Lucia, that decision has been reversed. In a memo dated February 20th, 2023, the St. Lucia Citizenship by Investment Unit informed promoters and marketing agents that it had updated the suspension of citizenship applications from specified jurisdictions. The unit explained that having monitored the ongoing global challenges, Iran was joining Russia and Belarus as the three countries it shall not accept applications from. The statement is an about turn for the CIP unit and the government. It was only on January 23rd that Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Investment, Dr. Ernest Siller, defended the September 2022 decision to resume accepting applications from Iranians, particularly nationals living outside of Iran.
I don't know that there was ever any international agreement and understanding that Iranian applicants who live in the US or live in England would not be accepted. I don't know, I'm not aware of it.
But global tensions surrounding Iran had been escalating for months prior to St. Lucia's decision, due in part to Iran's admission that it had supplied Russia with drones that have been used in attacks on the Ukraine. Further, the country was slapped with sanctions following the killing of a 22-year-old woman in September 2022 by Iran's morality police for wearing her hijab improperly. The The incident sparked nationwide protests, with the government unleashing violent crackdowns on demonstrators, with hundreds killed and more than 20,000 arrested. On Monday, February 20th, the same day that St. Lucia's government walked back its decision on access to the CIP, the European Union imposed asset freezes and visa bans on 32 Iranian individuals and 2 entities, including Iran's education and culture ministers, in the latest round of sanctions against Iran over its crackdown on demonstrators. In total, EU sanctions now apply to 196 individuals and 33 entities in Iran. Meanwhile, the British Foreign Secretary said the UK had sanctioned several regime members involved in repressing and killing the Iranian people, including children. On January 30th, the Prime Ministers of the OECS countries with citizenship by investment programs held discussions on the future of the programs, particularly increased scrutiny of the programs by the UK government as a means of determining whether the programs are undermining the UK's national security. The OECS leaders will again examine the CIP programs at the end of February when the Monetary Council meets. For the DBS News World, Lisa Joseph reporting.
And here we go again. Lisa doing a good job as usual. Folks, I'm not going to bring in any more. I have a whole list of stuff here that I wanted to share with you so that you could have, gotten a broader idea on what is happening with our CIP program, not only in St. Lucia, but in the region, and the response of our government. And now, nobody knows anything really. It's very, very much confusing. It is confusing. You know what? Before you go, let me give you the last one. I know I said it's the last one, but I promise you folks that I just want to I want to document all these things so that you would know when we talk about CIP and CIP Gate, that you will know it is not a joke, it is serious business, and that this government have been just messing around in dealing with, this whole matter. One time, one guy is in charge, another one is in charge, this one resign, this one then resign, and a whole set of confusion. And then we're finding out that there is an assistant this, an assistant that, and the solutions. Watch your bread. Go ahead.
St. Lucia proposed the changes to our CIP program. After careful review and extensive discussions with stakeholders and other OECS heads of government with CIP programs, the government of St. Lucia announces that it has decided to sign the Memorandum of Agreement, MOA, already signed by other OECS CIP countries. The memorandum calls for common standards and procedures in the following areas: pricing, information sharing and transparency standards, regulation, security screening and framework, regulation of agents, marketing and promotion of programs, joint training and capacity building, dispute resolution, amendment and termination. In addition to signing this memorandum, St. Lucia has made further suggestions to strengthen this regional agreement, including proposing legislative changes to address change of name requests. This has been agreed to by other heads of government. After consultations are completed with regional governments and other partners, the government of St. Lucia will suggest further strengthening of the CIP program. This would include an annual quota, a net worth for applicants, escrow accounts to be held in St. Lucia or in individual islands, a requirement that only licensed promoters will be allowed to submit applicants to local authorized agents, and those promoters will have to submit a due diligence report on each applicant. Over the last year, the Citizenship by Investment Unit in St. Lucia has instituted...
So basically what the Prime Minister is saying, that after all the hulele and the up and down, and finally that they saw the light, and they're going to sign the agreement. Remember that big drama when all the countries did sign on, and these fellas said, "No, we have business still. We manage our own affairs, and we have stuff that we got to do still." And we found out what that stuff was. But folks, this is the end of the program, and tomorrow, MS Media have will be addressing you, the citizens, and therefore evidence we are hearing will be released at that interaction with you, the general public. And stay tuned to your devices and everything else, and the information will be passed on to you, and you will know when it drops. All right, you will know when the ball on Times Square comes down. All right, so folks, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much, very much, very much. I do apologize for this long program. It was not my intention, but I look forward to we are not going to take any calls tonight, folks. I'm sorry, but we're not going to take calls because it's very late. And so thank you so much for being part of the program. We look forward, folks, to seeing you again at the earliest. We might be popping in with some breaking news between now and then. And as I always encourage you to watch the space, folks. So you have been in tune to Caribbean American News Media Platform. I wish you folks all the best. May God bless you as you continue to enjoy your night. Again, we do apologize for keeping you so long on this platform.
At Palette Pleasure, located Ogier Vieux Fort, we take pride in our ability to cater to a wide range of events and occasions, whether it's a joyous celebration like a birthday, anniversary, wedding, or graduation, or a more somber gathering such as a funeral or first communion. We are dedicated to providing exquisite culinary offerings to suit each unique event. Our diverse menu includes offerings such as funeral treat boxes and treat boxes for all other occasions, ensuring that we can provide comfort and support during difficult times, as well as enhance the festivities during happier moments. In addition, we offer prepackaged meals designed for all occasions, ensuring that the food at your event is not only delicious but also convenient. Call us today at 758-733-3365 for your finger-licking and palatable foods.
I heard this.